Nginibingelele nonke etindzaweni tonke emagumbini manamhlaba. Bobonke nje people lababheka le page le lababheka le channel lena isinduna. Ngiyanibingelela nonke lonibingelelako Mkhulu Themba Silindza umafavuke njengedangamane isihlahla kasisho umtulu kamakeretane hangarantima udulatula nyama senkopolo ningayiboni kuzaca ukuthi igcwele amafutha umgadlela kandaba inyanga mthakathi ngithi ngiyanibingelela nonke emagumbini wenemhlaba. Again, let me take this opportunity to greet each and every one of you all over the world, wherever you are. All those who like to visit and watch this channel, Sinduna. Before I continue with my topic today, I would like to ask everyone who watch this to subscribe to this channel so that you won't miss each and every topic that will come into this channel, because we have got so many topics that are lined up that will enlighten you in different things concerning culture, things that is to do with culture, nebungoma, all these things. We have got different topics that we are going to touch on. Still, there are so many topics that are in the line that I'm sure that they will benefit you greatly if you give yourself time to watch this channel. What I want to say today, I want to talk about the topic. It's not a long topic, a topic of amanono. As I normally speak about the spirits, bungoma. One of the spirits that normal people, they don't normally talk more about it, but especially in places like KwaZulu-Natal, you will hear people talking and say they've got UMNONO or they've got amanono among the spirits when they talk about the spirits. Like I have said in several topics, when I talk about the spirits that are with Bangoma or Tinyanga, I've said that there's one common thing about each and every spirit that is for Bunyanga. I've said that each and every spirit has got its own people. Maybe like when I'm talking of a spirit having its own people, like for example, if you talk about the spirit of Umdawe, we have got the people of Bandawe, which are found in the southern Africa, but mostly found in Mozambique, which these are the people that goes with the spirit of Abandawe. There are so many spirits that are available here in Africa, so many of them. Some we don't even know all of them, but we normally talk about these ones which are most common among us here in the southern Africa as that we have. I've said that the spirit will have its own people, which, as I'm making example, that we will have Umdawe as a spirit, and we have got Abandawe as people. And another thing about the spirit, a spirit will have its own language, as we have got Umdawe as the spirit, but the language of the spirit is Isindawe, whereby when the spirit is up, you will find that the person will speak Isindawe, and even during the initiation of the spirit, the song that will be sung there will be sung in Dawe, and the whole initiation process will be done according to the Dawe, because the language, the spirit has got its own language, which the language is Isindawe, and there are some special things that will be mixed there, which they go with Abandawe. The attire that will be dressed there will be also be the Umdawe attire, because every spirit has got also its own attire. The third thing that a spirit has got, as I've said, that the spirit has got its own people, a spirit has got its own language, and a spirit has got its own impande, the root that it requires. Because see, what normally makes a spirit to trouble people is because it has not eaten the right route of initiation to be initiated into the spirit. During the initiation time, it is a time where one will be required to eat the right route according to the type of spirit that the person has got. So these are the most important things that goes with a spirit. Sometimes when we say impande mundu ayikho lapha, the root is not there. We are meaning the right root for that particular spirit is not there. That's why sometimes we find that the person has been initiated into umdawe, but still umdawe is troubling that person because the person did not get the right root. The root, the people who are doing the initiation, they don't have the right root that is needed for initiation into being part of abandawe. The right root, it's not there. So that's why such things are very important. So when we talk maybe about the spirit of amanono, the spirit of amanono, it's not a spirit that stands on its own. It's a spirit that's not stand on its own. It's the spirit by circumstance. I don't know if people they will understand me when I say amanono, it's a spirit by circumstance. Same like when you're talking of as a person whom we say he has got ingwenze. A person whom has got ingwenze, it's a spirit by circumstance, that one. It's a spirit by circumstance whereby a person who was inyanga within the family, whether she was a woman or she was a man, will die without having a wife. Yet the person was fully mature to have a wife or to have a husband. And those people, when they come back and bambata, or they be upon someone, or baba in one spirit, and those very same people, they become ingwenze, and they cause that person to be in a circumstance where he won't like, sometimes uzodinekela abafazi or adinekele madoda in that regard. You know, ingwenze, it's a spirit by circumstance, which means it goes with another spirit. It's a spirit, but it goes with another spirit. Like ingwenze can goes with umdawe, can goes with umguni, can goes with inzuza. Sometimes it can show itself umaklolwa. Sometimes it can goes with ubugela. You see, sometimes during the time of when we are consulting, it can sometimes show itself where it comes from. It can show itself whether it goes with umdawe, inzuza, or umguni, or sometimes it can goes with even abalozi, that particular spirit. So now the same thing with amanono. Amanono, as I've said, that's a spirit by circumstance. When I'm saying circumstance, it's a circumstance that one will die without getting married. If person die without getting married, it's a circumstance, and that circumstance create that certain spirit into existence. But that spirit will go with a certain spirit, will be behind a certain spirit after it. Like as I'm saying, ingwenze can go with amandawe that you have, and then we say umdawe wakuhamba nengwenze, and then we say umguni wakuhamba nengwenze. It can go with it. Because the same way with amanono. Amanono, they are not, it's a spirit by circumstance. They are not standing on their own as a spirit, because they don't have the roots. They don't have a nation, and they don't have a language. But they are a spirit by circumstance. Same as isithunywa. Isithunywa is also a spirit by circumstance, in which one day we will explain about it. What do I mean when we say isithunywa? It's a spirit by circumstance. And the spirits which are spirit by circumstance, you see them because they don't have their own people, they don't have their own language, and they don't have their specific impande. When they demand impande yakhona will be linked to a certain impande. Like for example, when maybe someone is ngathiwa udinga igobongo lengwenze, then we have to find out ingwenze yakhe, it goes with which spirit. If it goes with umdawe, then we are going to give that person igobongo elihamba lemdawe. But godwana, where we say igobongo lengwenze, but it goes with umdawe, because those spirits by circumstance, they don't have its own roots. Like for example, even Isithunywa doesn't have its own people, doesn't have its own language, and doesn't have its own impande. as like other spirit. You know, when we're talking of Umnguni, we have got the people of Abanguni, we have got the language Isinguni, we have got Impande Abanguni. You see, and they've got their specific way of divining. There's a specific way of divining for Abanguni. There's a specific way of divining for Abandawe. So, because each and everyone has got its specific roots. The same when you're talking about Amanono. Amanono, they don't have a specific root because they're a spirit by circumstance. And the signs, when a person says the signs of Amanono, the signs that will show that Amanono, it will be like you will like children more. People who would have Amanono, they will like children more, and they will be even more gifted to heal children. Those people, they will be more gifted when it comes to healing children, because you know in the Western medicine there are people who specializing in healing children. And even here, we do have people who are specializing in such. I remember that my grandmother, she was also a specialist when it comes to healing of children. She used to specialize much on that because she did have the spirit of Amanono within her, because that's one of the signs. But other strong signs of it will be that it will be similar to the spirit that is behind. As I'm saying, that you can have Amanono that are behind Amandawe. You can have Amanono behind Umnguni or behind Abalozi, whatsoever. You see, because the spirit of Amanono, it comes from a child. There are children who died at a young age because of circumstance. And those children who were supposed to be Izinyanga or Izangoma. And those people who die at that time, they are the one who come with such a spirit, the spirit of Amanono within the family, and the spirit of Amanono or UMNONO within the family. And these are the children who were supposed to be initiated, but they die at an early age. And it's an unfortunate event that the spirit will be more prevalent in the near future, especially these days, because so many people these days are doing abortion. Even Tinyanga, there are so many of them who are doing abortion. And once you do abortion, and I've seen during when I divine, some have done abortion, you find that that child, because when we divine, if someone has done abortion, I can see that you have done abortion. I can see even the gender of the child, that the child was supposed to be was a boy, or the child was a girl. And then on top of that, I can see what the child was going to be if that child lived. If that child was going to be a Sangoma, I will tell you that that child was supposed to be a Sangoma. And if that child was supposed to be Sangoma, because that child was prematurely, the life of the child was prematurely taken away, but yet the child was supposed to be Isangoma or Inyanga. And what will result, the spirit of Amanono will be there in that family. That's where will be there in that family. And those people who will have the spirit of Amanono will love children. But the unfortunate thing sometimes that happens with people who have the spirit of Amanono, you find that they have got difficult to have their own children. They have difficult to have their own children. Some they even die without having their own children. They find it very difficult to have their own children, but they love children very much, and they have a gift even to heal and specialize more in the healing of children. These people who have got Amanono. You see, but though they can also heal adults, but they are more fascinated and they are more interested in dealing with children, even more than the adult, because of that spirit, Sebantwana, within them, within those people. And this such spirit will be more prevalent in the near future, because what will cause it? Because so many children die young these days, especially through abortion, and we find that most of them, they were also having this Bungoma spirit. Some they had Mdawe, And then if maybe the child was having umdawe, and that manono will be linked to that umdawe when it has entered that person. When that umnono has entered as a particular person, what will happen? It will be linked through the spirit which the child was supposed to work on if the child's life was not taken. If that spirit, that child had umdawe and had inzuza, and that manono will be linked and will work there, because as I'm saying that such spirit, we call them, they are spirits by circumstance. They are caused by certain things that happens. Just like now, even England's spirit is going to be so prevalent in the near future, because so many nyanga, they die without getting married, without having husband, without having wife. And for that reason, that's those spirit, those circumstances are going to create more of those spirit in the near future. There will be more in the future. You see, it's just like if, like these days, you know that these days there are people who are questioning why everyone is becoming a Sangoma these days. Why everyone is becoming a Sangoma. But to my surprise, no one questioned why everyone is becoming a Christian. Why everyone is going to church. Why everyone is going to church. No one is questioning that. But they're questioning when people, they are becoming Isangoma. And again, our forefathers at the back, they have rejected to become Isangoma. You know, if my forefather, maybe my grandfather was supposed to be Isangoma and he rejected that calling, you will find that so many of his generation will become Sangoma. You know, in our family now, we have got very few who are Sangomas. But in the past, we had plenty. Because my grandfathers, they accepted the calling. Most of them, even the sisters of my grandfather, they accepted the calling. My great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, they accepted the calling. That has resulted that there are very few within our family now who are practicing and being Isangoma or Inyang. The result is because the spirits were accepted in the past. So that has reduced. So, but if those spirits were not accepted in the past, maybe in my generation now, all of us would be practicing by now. All of us would be Sangoma, all of us. But because they accepted the calling, and that prevented this to happen to us, because they have accepted their calling. So when you check in those families where you find out a brother, a sister, everyone is becoming Sangoma, at the back you will find that there are those who have rejected. And I've seen that when we're divining, you find that at the back there are those who have rejected those spirits. So the same thing now when you're talking about amanono. Amanono is such as a spirit that is going to be prevalent in the future because of those children who die prematurely and who were supposed to be Inyanga, who were supposed to be Sangoma. And then it will be that prematurity is going to lead to more of them to have amanono when they become Sangomas. But remember that amanono is a spirit by circumstance. If that person had umdawe and you do well that umdawe, you give that umdawe its own food well, then that manono will be sorted out. You see, it's like Ingwen's, it's the same thing. It applies like Ingwen's. So, but when you have got amanono, you will find yourself to please the spirit that you will have more love for the children and you will have more interest for the children. You will deal more with the children. You know, your life will be around, and even children will love you. You'll find that will love you, children, to be around you. And the unfortunate thing sometimes that happen is that you might not have children of yours, and you might have one or two, and you might have difficulties to have children of your own in other circumstances. But now, but children will love you, and you will specialize in healing the children. That's one of the signs that will show that you have got amanono. And those people at the same time, they are neat. They are very neat. You see, ababi isangoma ezingolile ezinjanjani. They are neat. Baba isangoma is neat, who love themselves. They want their things to be tight. Everything to be put in place. Everything. They like to be tidy in everything they do. They like to be very tidy, those people there. Buying a manono, inono is something very careful. When inono is someone who's slowly and carefully or tidy. Someone who is so tidy, who is so meticulous in what that person is doing, which means I can say they are more meticulous in what they are doing. They are doing things in a proper way. And those people who have got their spirit of amanono. Thokozani bogogo, thokozani bomkhulu, enhla nasenzansi, emhlabeni wonke, everywhere, emagumbini omhlaba. Umntukulu kamgadlela kandaba, umkhulu Themba Silindza, umntulu kamgadlela kandaba inyanga mthakathi. Umakereta nahankarantima udula nyamasenko poloni ngayiboni kuzaca. Kodwa igcwele amafutha. Uthi bekungako lebekaniphathele kona namuhla. Nangabe nembuto nitawubuta. Ningesabi kufona ku 082 802 7931 082 802 7931 and ningakhohlwa nokuthi you can come and consult. I now do online consultation. We do consultation over the phone, even for those who are far. Through our consultation, we will tell you what type of spirit you have, where it comes from, where it comes from, and everything. And we also tell you the holistic about your life, anything that affects you in your life. We'll tell you about your grandfather, your grandmother, even your sibling. We'll tell you some of the things that are happening in your sibling, your parents, and everyone. We will tell you, we'll go through your life during our consultation. When I do consultation, I don't like to make it quick. But I normally give myself time. That's why I can consult to a certain number of people during a day, because I don't want to do it quick. I want to give it myself time so that we scan through your whole life. Siyathokoza bogogo, siyathokoza bomkhulu, siyathokoza enzabentonge. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Sinduna. Subscribe to our channel Sinduna, so that you won't miss to all our topics. There are so many topics that I'm sure that you will need them, that are still coming on our way, coming on your way. Siyathokoza bogogo, siyathokoza bomkhulu, sithokoza enzabentonge, Sinduna, ndawuwe, shewe, Sinduna.